Yo, what's going on, guys? KrispyFlakes here. So the 2019 NBA playoffs are set in stone, and we now know the official matchup. So for today's video, what I am going to be doing is I'm going to be filling out my bracket, guys. My bracket, we got 2 days until the playoffs to making this video. And then after I fill out my bracket and give you guys all my reasonings and stuff like that, I'm going to go ahead and simulate the entire playoffs in NBA 2K19. Just to see how accurate it is according to 2K19, although we all know it's really, the actual NBA that matters. So yeah, if you guys would like to play along, I will put a link to the bracket in the description below, so you guys can check that out and everything like that. I saved it to my computer, and then I opened it up in Paint, and that's how I'm doing it. So yeah, guys, let's go ahead and get started on this. It's gonna be a lot of thought process and stuff, at least for the most part. There might be a few cases where I'm just like, okay, they're gonna sweep them, and that's it. Also, before we get started on this, guys, don't mind dropping a like on this video. It would be greatly appreciated. But let's go ahead and get started, guys. So the first round we are going to look at is the Golden State Warriors versus the Los Angeles Clippers. And I will say, man, like, my mindset is to say Warriors in 4. Because, I look at the roster and everything like that. They don't have any, like, major injury issues outside of Damian Jones. But, I mean, they picked up Bogut. Bogut he won a championship with his team before. So, in a backup role, he's going to be nice. They got the best starting 5 in the entire league. But then you look over on the Clippers. And I will say, man, I definitely have the Warriors winning. But I will say, like, Danilo Gallinari, let's look at his stats this season. Let me actually move this real quick here, man. I don't know if you... Yeah, I'm going to move the bracket actually up here to the top right so you guys can see a bit better of what I'm looking at here. So yeah, we got Danilo Gallinari. Okay, that looks good. Actually, I can make it a little bit bigger. There we go. This season, 20.6 rebounds, 3 assists. So, I mean, he can get going, guys. He can get going. Lou Williams, too. One of the better scorers in the entire NBA. I like Montrezl Harrell a lot. So, I really could see, the Warriors having one of their chemistry issue games. And maybe the Clippers just getting hot all of a sudden, where they actually could steal one game away from the Warriors, guys. I definitely don't put it past me. So, I'm going to say, for this first series, I'm going to say the Warriors in 5. I do give the Clippers a chance, man, just because, I don't know. The Western Conference, the playoff seeding was just so, it went down. I mean, I guess the Western or the East Conference was actually worse, man. It took longer, but still, man, like the Clippers, I think they can get one. So I'm gonna say 4-1, and we're gonna go with the Golden State Warriors. Moving on, man. Golden State Warriors. I think that is fair to say. All right, next up we have the Houston Rockets and the Utah Jazz. So only 2 games separating both these teams. That's why they are obviously the 4th and the 5th seed. So yeah, let's look at the Jazz first and what they got going on here. So I do know that in the Jazz's last game of the season, I believe Ricky Rubio was actually out. So I don't know if he's completely going to be ready to go or not. If he's not ready to go, I really don't give the Jazz team a chance at all, man, because you look at the rest of the point guard situation. I believe Raul Neto, however you say his name, is also out. Dante Exum's out, so this team is not going to have a point guard, man. So, I mean, I guess you go Donovan Mitchell at the point guard and then Kyle Korver at the 2 spot, but that even depletes your bench scoring a bit. So, but in general, like, Donovan Mitchell and the Jazz, they've been on a tear the past, really since the All-Star break. So, Rudy Gobert, he's one of my favorite centers in the entire NBA. He is more than just a defensive guy. I mean, this guy's a guy that can bring you 16 points a game, 13 rebounds per game. So he's more than just a defensive guy. So I do like this Jazz team a lot, man. If their point guard's not there, what is that clearly missing out with Rubio anyway? They are missing out on 13 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists, and also a pretty solid defensive player. So, yeah, that would hurt them a lot. You look over here on the Rockets side of things. Now, I do think that the Rockets, if completely healthy, and that means Chris Paul not getting his, his annual injury in the playoffs, I do have this team probably going to the Western Conference Finals, I would say. I mean, I'm going to check out the matchups and stuff, but I do think they are a deeper team from the bench unit. Health-wise, they are doing a lot better. I mean, I don't really see any injuries at all. So, man, I'm going to say, how do I want, because if Rubio's in it, do I have them? Damn, I respect the Jazz a lot. This is a tough one, man. I think I have this going to 7 games if Rubio is healthy. But if Rubio is not healthy, I'd probably say the Houston Rockets take care of it in 6. So I'm going to assume that Rubio is good to go. I'm going to assume it, man. I'm going to assume he's going to do everything in his power. And then I'm going to say the Rockets, though, winning 4 games to 3. Because usually when you got like the closer seeded teams like that, I like to keep it a bit closer because they are pretty accurate as far as record goes. So I do have Houston moving on to the second round facing the Golden State Warriors. Although, now that I think about it, there is no way the Houston Rockets are making it to the Western Conference Finals against the Warriors. I'm just going to say that. Spoiler alert. All right, next up, we have the Portland Trailblazers and the OKC Thunder. So, I feel bad for the Trailblazers, man. They're getting screwed in this matchup. Like, nobody wants to face Russell Westbrook and Paul George in the first round. But let's go over here and look at the Trailblazers roster real quick. Of course, you got Damian Lillard. You got CJ McCollum. So, I don't really know how CJ's been doing as of late. I knew he was, like, injured. So, let me see if I can see, like, his past games or anything like that. Recent games. Yeah, so he last played on April 9th, like 11 points. It looks like, and then before that, man, he hasn't played since mid-March. And, you know, obviously he was a scoring beast back then. So he's not completely healthy by the look of things, although he's had a lot of rest. So that could be a good thing, you know, going into the grind of the playoffs. Of course, Damian Lillard's going to do his thing out there. Enes Kanter, he's been nice, guys, for this team. Like, Nurkic went down, and the man Enes Kanter just stepping in and beasting out there, man. Of course, you don't get as much defense. Look at this game right here, man. 4 blocks. This game, 3 steals. So it's like he can still get it done defensively. But I will say, not having Nurkic, I don't know how I feel about that, man. And you look at the OKC Thunder side of things, and of course, they have a potential MVP candidate in Paul George, although it's not going to be him anymore, unfortunately. But you got Russell Westbrook, of course. You got Steven Adams. I like their bench unit with Dennis Schroeder off there. So, once again, while OKC is the lower seed, a big part of Portland's success this season was no doubt Nurkic and a healthy CJ McCollum. So, I hate to do this, but I'm going to say because of the injury to Nurkic, this team not being 100%, I don't really hate to do it, though. That's the thing. That's the thing about the Western Conference is that you can't really be all that wrong, you know? I'm going to say OKC 4-2. That feels about right to me, man. I see Portland winning 2 games, but overall, I see this being one of the upset series where the lower seed ends up winning in this case. So, yeah, we got OKC moving on. And here we go, man. Here we go. All right. That is some beautiful work. All right, next up, we have the Denver Nuggets and the San Antonio Spurs. So, I know personally, I never want to face Greg Popovich in the first round of the playoffs. But, with that being said, the Nuggets, I think, have a pretty good chance right there. You got, LaMarcus Aldridge, who has been nice going into the month of April and everything like that. And, of course, he's an all-star caliber player. On to the season, he's averaging, 21 points, 9 rebounds, so he's going to bring it. You got DeMar DeRozan, who I think is one of the most underrated players in the entire NBA. Of course, the thing that holds him back is that 15% three-point shooting on the season. But, I mean, he's got the rebound, he's got the assist, he finds other ways to, really dominate the game of basketball. Rudy Gobert this season has been a nice third option. I mean, he's a consistent three-point shooter. You got Derek White out there, who's been, a decent replacement for DeJounte Murray. I mean, I still don't think he's, a starting point guard, but he's the best they got. And he's been nice for him this season. And then, of course, you look over at the Denver Nuggets, who are one of the most improved teams in the entire NBA. Jokic, of course, can be looking out there, make some noise. He's almost averaging a triple-double at the center position. So, the depth of the Spurs, they don't really have, that really good just inside interior guy. I mean, I know, Jakob Poeltl's okay, but he's not going to stop Jokic. Paul Millsap, as far as I know, is completely healthy. So, he's a serviceable guy. Jamal Murray, one of the better scoring point guards in the entire league. But we got the Denver Nuggets up 53-48 is in the win column versus the Spurs. The Spurs have been on a tear, man, in the latter part of the season. I don't think this one goes to 7, though. I do have the Spurs winning a few games, but just because Greg Popovich is coaching and, some of the players on this team. But I'm probably going to say 4-2 Denver. 4-2 Denver. I'm going to play it safe with this one, man. I don't see it going, any higher than that. So we got Denver. Moving on, man. Moving on. Okay. So, next up, we are in the Eastern Conference. We have the Milwaukee Bucks against my Detroit Pistons. Let me just say, though, man, being the 8th seed in the Eastern Conference, obviously, from top to bottom is weaker. 41 wins to the Bucks, 60. I mean, I don't know, man. Let's look at the Detroit Pistons first since they're right here on my screen. And yeah, Blake Griffin, he's having knee injuries right now. He's having leg issues. He cannot move, man. That's why he did not play in the last game, because he cannot move. There is no way I can see a guy going from not being able to move to being ready for a grueling playoff run. I am kind of running Griffin off as out for the season, man. Yeah, if he comes back for one game and he can drop 50 points like he did the other night, that's fine. But besides that, Drummond, he's fine, but he's not really leading this team to too much success. Reggie Jackson is very streaky. Luke Kennard has had some great games, man. Luke Kennard, believe it or not, man, he's been one of the most improved players for this entire team. Yeah, 27 points in 25 minutes. It was against the New York Knicks, of course, but still, he was getting it done out there, bro. But just, I don't see the consistency enough for this team really to do anything. And especially with an unhealthy Blake Griffin, it's just not looking good. Looking over here at the Bucks, of course, you got Giannis Antetokounmpo, Eric Bledsoe, Malcolm Brogdon. It says he's got a sore right foot. I don't know if he's like, is he out for the rest of the season? Or I don't really see him coming back for this series. He probably won't be back for this series unless there's something been announced that I missed. But yeah, they don't need him anyway, man. You got Eric Bledsoe, Chris Middleton. Brook Lopez is going to give Drummond some issues just because, you know, keeping Drummond away from the basket. Of course, he crashes the glass. Is one of his most important aspects of the game. So the three-point shooting here, spacing out the Pistons like that, it's going to hurt him a lot. Now, not to mention when you have Brook Lopez out there, you don't have Drummond, probably their best inside threat. Defending the basket, I don't really see anybody on the Pistons be able to defend Giannis, so the lane's gonna be wide open. I know as a Piston fan, I hate to say this, but I am seeing our first sweep of the season, or of the playoffs. I'm gonna say the Milwaukee Bucks sadly win this 4-0. I know, man. I know. I'm trying to be a realist here, guys. Trying to be a realist here. Milwaukee. All right, next up, we have the Boston Celtics and the Indiana Pacers. All right, so this, I don't know if I want to say this is an interesting matchup. Let me just say, I'm so damn surprised with the Indiana Pacers. Let me go pull them up here real quick. The fact that, like, Victor Oladipo's been out since forever, however long it's been, and they're this far into the, like, they're in the playoffs and stuff, that's damn impressive. Like, Bogdanovic, he's been absolutely amazing for the squad out there. Recently, I guess, yeah, no, he's always been got 35 points in 28, 27. Miles Turner is finally stepping up and becoming the player that he really needed to be. Yo, I'm not looking at the minutes. I have a bad habit of doing that, guys, where it's like I look at the minutes instead of the points. No, that's the minutes right there. Okay, that's the points right there. Sabonis, he's been a solid double-double guy, for the entire season pretty much here. Darren Collison, serviceable point guard. Thaddeus Young. The thing about this team is that they have the chemistry. They have, it's just a group of guys that are going out there just grinding away and getting W's out there, man. And that actually is like the fault of the Celtics, where it's a group of guys that are really talented. They just don't really think they have the chemistry yet. It just seems like this team's never really been able to get it done with Kyrie Irving as the point guard. Like, they're still struggling with that. I mean, Jason Tatum has definitely taken a little bit of a step back this season. Yeah, he's got some nice games, but it still seems like at times you feel like he's better when Kyrie's not in the game. Al Horford, he's going to bring you the defense. He's going to bring you he's been a glue guy out there. Marcus Smart is also now out probably for the rest of the season with an oblique injury. So that's a defensive guy. I know he's not really a big time scorer, but he can get it done sometimes. 12 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists. That's off your, that's per 36. Okay, 9 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals out of your lineup. Good thing about that though is that this team does have a lot of depth. So it's going to be fine for them. They got Jaylen Brown out there who's going to get a lot more opportunities, which is going to be good for them. They got Terry Rozier, of course, so they should be fine. I will say, though, and this is no disrespect to the Boston Celtics. This is more so respect to the end of the Pacers and what they're doing this season, and plus losing Marcus Smart. I'm going to say this is going to be a 7-gamer, guys. I can see the Indiana Pacers giving this team some issues, but the Celtics end up winning it 4-3. That is my prediction for them right there, man. I'm going to say the Boston Celtics win this, but not easily. I think that's fair to say. All right. Here we go. I know it's going to be a longer video, so hopefully you guys enjoy these, but it's more of like a podcasty type of thing, I guess. All right, next up, we have the Philadelphia 76ers and the Brooklyn Nets. Now, I've heard reports that there is no guarantees that Joel Embiid is going to be ready for the playoffs. I guess he's having like his own injury issues. Another guy that I could totally see Joel Embiid suffering from the Blake Griffin syndrome, and that is a guy that can get you there in the regular season, but then just the 82 games catches up with you, and come playoff times, he's just not 100%. I can see that happening to him. But even without Joel Embiid, this team's pretty damn good. Like, that just means more shots for Jimmy Butler, Ben Simmons out there, Tobias, JJ Redick. The big time issue is that, you look at their center trios. I like Boban a lot. I mean, he's shooting 40% from 3 this season. Like, he's killing it. You got Greg Monroe they just added, which was a great addition. Just a guy that can, get you some score on the inside, grab you some rebounds. A good veteran, so that was a nice pick. Amir Johnson, I don't really think he does too much these days. He's not really much of a threat anymore. But, of course, you want Joel Embiid out there. That is their best player. So if Joel plays against Brooklyn, I could see them getting it done pretty quickly. If not, then I could see the Brooklyn Nets, getting a few W's here. Let's go look at the Nets roster and see kind of what they're all about. Of course, we know that they have Spencer Dinwiddie out there, 87 overall player in NBA 2K19. Of course, was a first-time All-Star. Did I say Dinwiddie? D'Angelo Russell, my apologies. Spencer Dinwiddie, 82 overall. They got some good, outside threats, and Joe Harris, Karis LeVert. Jared Allen is a nice center on the inside. My bad, not Jamal Murray. You ain't no center, bro. Yeah, Jared Allen, 11 points, 8 rebounds, good shot blocker in the middle. I really like the depth of the Brooklyn Nets. But overall, I will say that I think for the Nets, making it to the playoffs was a big-time W for them this season. Now, of course, they are a very young team on paper, so I do feel like experience could be an issue. If Joel Embiid is healthy, I'm going to say 4-1. Now, if he's not healthy, I'm going to say that the Brooklyn Nets probably could sneak, 2 wins out of there. But I'm going to say Philadelphia 4-1. That feels about right. And we got Philadelphia. Okay. And now, finally, we have the Toronto Raptors and the Orlando Magic. So, the Raptors on this season, of course, they got Kawhi Leonard playing his first postseason with the team. Pascal Siakam, probably the most underrated player in the entire NBA. This guy's just absolutely insane. They have the veteran point guard and Kyle Lowry, averaging 14 points, 5 rebounds, 9 assists out there. Marc Gasol, he's going to be hungry to go out there and try to compete because it's been a few seasons for him. Serge Ibaka, of course. Just, you look up and down the depth of this team, the mix of veterans, but also athletic young players. They got Jody Meeks now, too. It's going to be, this team's going to be they're going to be a tough outing in the playoffs, guys. And you look over at the Magic, it's almost like the same case as the, what I'll say about the Brooklyn Nets, where, getting to the playoffs was impressive. Doing anything in it, I don't know if I see it. Just like Vucevic, he's going to get his own out there, but I feel like Marc Gasol and Serge Ibaka can do a decent enough job on him. Aaron Gordon against Pascal Siakam, that is actually going to be an extremely fun matchup to watch. And then after that, it's like, Terrence Ross is fine, but, he's okay. They don't really have an answer for Kawhi Leonard out there. Like Jonathan Isaac against Kawhi will be decent to watch, I suppose. Kyle Lowry against CJ Augustine, that's a wash. So I'm going to say here, I don't have Orlando winning a game in this series, man. I have it being the other sweep of the series. I have Toronto winning this 4-0. 4-0 and moving on to the second round. Okay, so now that we've been through like all the teams and everything like that, I don't got too much more to like look at from 2K standpoint, so I'm going to enlarge this and we're going to kind of speed up the process here going into the next rounds. All right, Golden State, Houston. Man, that's going to be a fun series, guys. That's going to be a fun one. Just because, like I said, if Houston stays healthy, I don't think it's going to be easy for Golden State to win this one. Man, I do think they're going to win it. But do I see it going to 7 games? Because the Houston Rockets, the thing about them is they beat themselves up sometimes. Shooting, like, all they do is take it to the basket or shoot threes. And if they're not making their 3-point shots, they struggle, So, for them to win, that's going to need 4 games of just consistently making their 3-point shots, but also shutting down the Golden State Warriors out there. I am going to say for this, I'm sorry, Houston Rocket fans. Damn. I'm going to say that. I have Golden State moving on. I'm just juggling between 4-2 or 4-3. Do I have this one going to a Game 7? Damn, because I could only see it going to a Game 7 because Golden State depth still is not all that great. I know Curry's ankle, too, is kind of bothering him a little bit, so maybe at this point it's a little wear and tear on him. You know what? I'm going to give the MVP, James Harden, the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to say 4-3. I'm going to say it, man, but I'm not, like, too comfortable with that statement, but I do have Golden State moving on, though, regardless. Golden State Warriors. Okay. And now we got OKC, Denver. This is going to be another series right here, man. That's just going to be a really fun one to watch. Thunder 49-33, 53-22, Denver. I like the Steven Adams Jokic matchup. I really think that Adams could negate some of the stuff that Jokic does. Russell Westbrook against Jamal Murray is going to be fun. Paul George, they don't really got an answer for him. Bro, I'm going to say OKC wins this. But I'm gonna have another 7-game series here, man, and we're all gonna miss Endgame. We're all gonna miss Endgame because all the 7-game series. So I'm gonna say 4-3, but I have OKC upsetting the Denver Nuggets here, man. I don't know. I know OKC's had their issues this season, but I just look up and down that roster, and I like their experience over Denver more. I really think when it comes this late, man, I really do think regular season's great and everything, but experience gets you a long way. So I'm gonna have OKC moving on 4-3. Sorry, Denver Nugget fans. Just how I feel. OKC. All right, next up we got Milwaukee and Boston. So I'm totally going to negate my last statement by saying chemistry is what it's all about, or that experience is what it's all about. I do think that Milwaukee with Giannis, I don't see the Boston Celtics stopping him in any way. Now, they are going to need Brogdon back for this series, though. They don't have Brogdon back. It's going to be a bit more difficult. But, because Boston, damn, dude, they also got, because, like, even, like, Jason Tatum and, like, Jaylen Brown, they have experience, but I like Giannis a lot, man. I like Giannis a lot. And I think he's going to go complete beast mode in these playoffs. It's not going to be, I don't have it being a 7-game series. I'm going to have this one Milwaukee 4-2. 4-2. I have Milwaukee moving on. And I have Kyrie leaving and joining the New York Knicks. Because he's going to meltdown, man. It's going to be a meltdown situation. All right. Now we got Philly and Toronto. This is going to be a fun series to watch also, man. Joel Embiid, I'm going to assume Joel is healthy for this. I'm going to assume he's healthy for this. Because you got Kyle Lowry, Ben Simmons. That will be an interesting matchup. JJ Redick against, Danny Green starts? Does he start for the Toronto Raptors? Maybe. No, Terrence Ross plays for the Magic now. Man, you got Jimmy Butler against Kawhi Leonard. That's going to be epic. Steven Adams. Oh, I'm sorry. Marcus Gasol. Serge Ibaka taking on Joel Embiid, trying to punish him. That will be fun to watch. Another Game 7. 4-3. But who do I have moving on? I have the Toronto Raptors. I like Kawhi Leonard in the playoffs, man. I feel like Kawhi Leonard just goes to a whole new different mode in the playoffs. And I feel like that's going to happen here. And now we have the conference finals, Golden State, OKC, Milwaukee, Toronto. Let's start over here with Golden State, OKC. I am going to say Golden State wins 4-2 over OKC just because, once again, man, Golden State, just their starting 5. I see that being an issue for OKC. Although, you know, they'll be able to get a few wins against them. I just don't see it going to a Game 7. I really don't see Golden State going to Game 7 at all. I guess they did in Golden State, the Houston series here. I guess I did in that case. But in this series, man, because while OKC is in the conference finals, I feel like Houston is still going to be the tougher team. So, yeah, I got this. Golden State moving on to the NBA Finals. And then we got Milwaukee, Toronto. We got Giannis against Kawhi Leonard. Oh, man. So, putting those two aside, because those two are going to negate each other, which team do I think is better up and down? Kyle Lowry, Eric Bledsoe, both great point guards in their own separate way. We got Marc Gasol, Brook Lopez. I'm going to take Marc Gasol. Pascal Siakam against, well, I guess he probably play defense on Giannis. And you got Middleton and you got Kawhi in that case. I got another Game 7, man. 4-3. And I have the Toronto Raptors moving on to the NBA Finals. I have Toronto, man. That was not like my mindset going into this, but that's kind of how it turned out. And then we got Golden State, Toronto. Kawhi Leonard gets a chance against the team that he went down injured to. All those odds does not play for them anymore. But I have Golden State beating the Toronto Raptors 4-2. Golden State Warriors crushing all of our hope and dreams. And as we said at the beginning of the season, Golden State's going to win it all. There's been nothing that's really changed my mind all that much. I think it's going to be the end of the epic chapter of their legacy out there. And I think Durant ends up leaving. I think Klay Thompson ends up leaving. DeMarcus Cousins goes somewhere else. And that's all she wrote there, man. So we are going on 23 minutes of this video. All right, so I know a lot of you guys are here for the simulation. Let's go ahead and just do this real quick here. I'm going to see how it actually owns up to my bracket. So I'm just going to simulate the playoffs. Damn, this is a long video. And, okay, yo, Mirotic is nice too, though, man. I also have the CPU adjust rotations here. We got Roberson. Okay, we're going to leave rotation as is in that case because he's not going to be healthy. Allen Crabbe. Okay, let's do all this. The game likes to make guys healthier a lot quicker than what they actually are, but it won't make that big a difference. So we got the Brooklyn Nets gone. Denver Nuggets gone in the first round to the Spurs. Okay, I did not guess that. All right, I'm going to compare my bracket to this after it actually finishes through here. Got the conference finals. I got the right side right so far. Spurs are gone. Toronto gone to Philadelphia. Okay, Jazz gone. Bucks gone. Did not see that one coming to the Boston Celtics. All right. And it looks like going to the finals, we got Philadelphia gone. We got the Boston Celtics against the Golden State Warriors. I can see that definitely happening too there, man. With the Golden State Warriors winning 4-3. Would not totally surprise me if that was the finals matchup. But here is my bracket here, guys. I mean, no, it's kind of hard to see now. So, Accuracy-wise, I think I did pretty decent. Golden State, OKC, I had that. And then I had Milwaukee, Toronto. That was just completely gone. We got Philly and Boston right there. But I did have the Golden State Warriors winning, so that's not too hard to guess. But anyway, hope you guys all enjoyed this video. I know it was a long one, but I enjoyed doing it. So thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to drop that like, subscribe if you're new to my channel. And peace out, my friends.